Welcome to the last section of the transportation tool training videos. Here we'll discuss the periodic analysis form and the activity data analysis form. Both of these relate to the step 5 evaluate of the Green Team 7-step framework. So the periodic analysis form compares the cost of transportation, the miles traveled, and emissions in kilograms of CO2 equivalent period by period. You will have to fill in these values on your own. They are not filled in automatically as in other modules and tools, and that's just because all the impact sheets are used only for one period, and you reuse them for another period, so you will have to fill in these on your own. I already pre-populated these fields just to show you an example. So first one is cost of transportation. For business travel, you will need to input the totals for all road, air, and train together. So if we look at the business travel impact sheet, you will need the totals. You will need to sum the totals for road business travel. You will take the totals, total cost, total miles, total emissions, and you will add to it total emissions for your flights, for your air travel, as well as total emissions for your train travel. And then you will input that number into the periodic analysis form for cost, miles, and emissions. Then we have company fleet. Company fleet has 3 different sheets, but you only use one based on your situation. So let's say you use the one where you know your fuel consumption and miles, and you will have to input your totals. So from this row, your totals of miles, cost, and your emissions. And then we'll go into the fields here: cost for company fleet, miles traveled, and emissions. Finally, employee commuting. You will take the totals for all of your employees. So totals estimated for all company employees. So those are total miles, total emissions. There's no cost because there's no cost to your company from employee commuting. So the cost of transportation does not include employee commuting. So I already input some numbers here, and once you fill in these tables, all of the data will be then displayed in these charts below here. So cost of transportation compares business travel and company fleet period by period, so you can see your progress. And then we have miles traveled, business travel, company fleet, and the green one is employee commuting. And then you have a chart for emissions in kilograms of CO2 equivalent as well. So finally we have the activity data sheet, and here we're comparing kilograms of CO2 equivalent per mile, kilograms of CO2 equivalent per dollar, and then finally kilograms of CO2 equivalent per passenger. And activity data can be found in the last 2 columns of each impact sheet. So for business travel impact, if we look at the road business travel, the last 2 columns are kilograms of CO2 equivalent per mile and kilograms of CO2 equivalent per dollar of the cost. For the fleet impact, it is the same. Last two columns are kilograms of CO2 equivalent per mile and per dollar of cost, and you will always input into the table the totals. And then employee commuting, we have activity data there, kilograms of CO2 equivalent per mile and per passenger. And again, you will input the totals for all employees. So totals estimated for all company employees will be input into the activity data sheet. Once you again fill all these tables, the data will be displayed in the charts. It will be very similar to the periodic analysis chart. So this concludes the training series on the transportation tool. Thank you very much for watching.